I want to talk today about one important thing that many people just underestimate, that it's not important in communication, but I've seen often and often from my clients' story, from the manager's stories who I come across to work with. And this little thing, one thing I want to talk about today is basically really hurting the quality of communication, the quality of the relationships, and also really damages trust in a long term. And that simple thing is like assumption. Nobody talks about assumption much when it comes to communication, and I decided to cover this topic today because it's extremely important. And I've seen so many cases, and even clients of mine constantly telling me, oh, I just assumed my team member wanted this, or I just assumed they understood, or I just assumed they basically, knew the process, and so on and so on. Those, popular phrases, as I assumed. And this is something basically made me think how people take the conversation very lightly, in a way that they just believe that people, think from their perspective. But we're all different, and we need to try to adjust to other styles, and we need to always make sure that we clarify the things, right? Therefore, today I want to give you 3 simple things that can help you how to avoid assumptions and how to focus on the facts and how to ensure the message basically is delivered in a perfect way, right? So let's dive in. First thing first, in order to avoid assumption, that you need to focus on is to always clarify the things. Don't just assume somebody knows something. When you give explanation or give the, description of something, always check with person. Do they understand what you're talking about? Do they know what you mean? Do they know what it's all about? If you do not do so, if you basically just think, oh, they understood, let's go, let's move fast, let's go next. This is exactly what happens. And then when mistake happens from your team members, then managers are like wondering, but where actually did it go wrong, right? Exactly there. Because you just gave instructions, you communicated the way you communicate, but people don't maybe understand what you're talking about, right? And some team members, they don't even want to say if they don't understand. So that's why it's extremely important that you clarify with person if they really understood your message. Second thing, very important one, to always check the other side of the story. You can give instructions to somebody, clarify everything, but the person actually has something else to add in order for that to be delivered. If you do not listen to that person, their point of view, right, then you might also go wrong. Because if you give instructions and you say, okay, is it clear? Person says it's clear, and you do not allow them to basically share their point of view, then you might go again into assumption, oh yeah, but they just basically should have told me, right, if they had something. But that's your fault because you didn't even ask questions. The second thing important, you need to also ask questions to person if they have anything to add, anything to share, anything to say from their perspective that can be actually detrimental for the outcome of the whole situation, right? And the last but not least, very important thing, never jump into conclusion, okay, without checking things first. What do I mean by that? Because people assume that everything goes smooth, that everything is the way they understood, that everything is the way one person told them, but they do not check every single party involved in something. Always check before you make some judgment, make some conclusions. Always check from every single person what they have to share, what they have to say, and then you move ahead, and then basically you then operate on all these facts that you gathered from every single person, instead of making judgment only based on the one input of information, right? So these 3 things are extremely important to avoid assumptions, and to always stay away from them, because those assumptions, it seems like very logic, to stay away from assumption, but a lot of people fail at this. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about this today. All right, if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and until next time, stay ambitious.